YouTube, what it do? It is Dundee back with another detailed analysis on the modern black mind. This is a reaction video of Candace Owens interviewing Kanye West, and they get into some issues about so-called black, white, and Iewish people. So without further ado, let's get into the video and break down Kanye's answers. So without further ado.
Thought.
No, you're making perfect sense to me. I had two thoughts today. The first, I had a lot of thoughts today. I didn't just have two thoughts today, just to clarify. Yeah. But I was thinking earlier about when is the first time that I heard Ye was mentally ill, right? Mm-hmm. So I grew up on your music. Obviously, everybody knows, like when you first were spinning through the wire, mm-hmm. And you had a remarkably long career in the public sphere and nobody had ever called you mentally ill, right? And now, no matter what you say, when you don't exist under, I would just call it Hollywood terms, their number one rebuttal, if you have an idea, you're saying things like, well, he's mentally ill and he already said he was mentally ill because he said it on this podcast. And therefore we don't have to listen to anything else that he has to say because we've already said he's mentally ill. And so I actually researched when is the first time that the public sold us this. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was in 2017 that they said that you went to the hospital and you were bipolar, and that's
2015.
Sorry, pardon. 2015 when Trump was
about to, right when Trump got elected, I went to the hospital less than a week after that. Mm-hmm. Because the entire time while he was running, people told me that my life would be over. I would be on the wrong side of history. Like literally people threatened my life and told me, I did not stand up and say, hey, this is what I believe in. And that's who I am. That's what my character is. So I think that
they made you think that.
Yeah, it's like, how people, they said the reason why I couldn't be on Daily Wire is the Israelite comment. And every black person is fine with calling ourselves black and being called black. But when I bring up the idea that we're Jew because we are from Africa, the Bible was the majority, it's like set in Africa, then it's challenging. And we talk about on the George Floyd documentary, it's called The Greatest Lie Ever Sold.
I'm let him finish his point.
The idea that black people are not Jew is the greatest lie that's ever sold, because you don't see the Jewish abortion rate at the same level as the black abortion rate. 50% of black deaths a year is actually abortion.
He's going to start ranting. But how does that make us those people? I have to go back and let him kind of repeat himself.
Then it's challenging. And we talk about on the George Floyd documentary, it's called The Greatest Lie Ever Sold. The idea that black people are not Jew is the greatest lie that's ever sold, because you don't see the Jewish abortion rate at the same level as the black abortion rate. 50% of black deaths a year is actually abortion.
Now, if you Kanye followers will be so happy to explain that very weird statistic or information that since our abortion rate is high and theirs is low, that we stem from those people, that make it make sense to me, because that doesn't make sense to me at all. But let me tell you something that does make sense. Ye being mentally ill and the idea that blacks are Iews, I'm not going to say the word. He's talking about blacks being from Africa, or the majority of blacks are from Africa. And that simply is just not true. You Pan-Africans, you American Pan-Africans, because the Africans in Africa do not mess with you. They don't care for you. And when they come over here, they get benefits and you don't. So the so-called Negro was on these American lands before the Spanish, the French, the England, the Scotland, the Germania, the Africans, You had so-called Negroes here before any of those people got here, right? He's talking about the dark-skinned Iews that took over the lands and helped bring Christ. He's so-called saying that's who we are related to. The pale faces came later, right? But I'm gonna break it down.
You don't see the Jewish divorce rate at the level of 70 something. You said the percent of black moms raising their kids by themselves. You don't see Jewish people shooting each other down in the street on World Star and then rapping about it. It's just not, there's not Jewish content like that. And also Jewish people do business together. And that's what I said on the drink.
All right, so if you don't see them people doing it and we're doing it, how are we related to them people? Watch the sense he try to make out of this. It's ridiculous. Because if those people have a so-called community and our people don't have a so-called community, how are we related? Is he saying because before they didn't and now they do, and now they're the successful race and now it just doesn't make sense. Keep listening.
I'm saying these are things that I'm envious of. You know,
I think the first thing that someone would say if you said that, right, is same for Chinese. You don't see Chinese people shooting each other. You don't see Chinese people with this super high divorce rate. You don't see Chinese people and Japanese people and Korean people and Hispanic people-ish, but no matter what, nobody's rates of violence and abortion are as high. White America, forget Jewish America, white America don't have these same rates, right? And so they ask why isolate Jewish American population?
Well, for black people, okay, with the rates of that ours being higher, we're still, you know, you go see the slave movie, you see like a slave get their teeth pulled out in front of another slave. Mm-hmm. We're still getting our teeth pulled out, you know, literally like in jail. I have friends whose, you know, family members went to jail and they got killed by an officer, and then the officer like all of a sudden quit and they're not there anymore and stuff, and like so they can't do the trial, and you know, so we're getting
something almost similar with Sonya Massey.
Left and right still treated like slaves. And with the reason why I specifically say the Jewish people is the Jewish people, like how the Armenians worked in the meatpacking district. Mm-hmm. The Jewish people came into power in the 80s, truly, you know, when the divorces started.
Okay. He's going and talking about a lot, and I'm going to get into that, how the Jewish people came into power in the 80s. But he says other communities, the rates compared to the so-called blacks, and as far as like police brutality or as far as crime, blacks are still in slavery, right? In a sense, in America, all right? Police brutality, still being treated like slaves, and is what he's saying. Now, he has a lot of money, right? And a lot of corporate guys that's black got a lot of money. Do frat boys really got to worry about police brutality? Do black judges and their families got to worry about police brutality in their neighborhoods? Do the mayors, black mayors, have to worry about police brutality in their neighborhoods or where they live? Black politicians, do they have to worry about police brutality? No. Mostly it's the poor blacks, right? It's the poor so-called black African Americans, and it's the lower middle class so-called black African Americans who have to deal with this issue when it comes to police brutality. When you have money, when you get up there with Kanye, and all of the rappers who are up there with him, Kanye, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Yo Gotti, Lil Wayne, these guys are not worried and do not have to worry about so-called police brutality. Maybe discrimination, but not police brutality. That is the so-called problems of the so-called black indigenous people of the land who have to who doesn't have a lot of money, who can't maneuver like Kanye, who can't maneuver like Jay-Z, who can't maneuver like a Drake or a Lil Wayne. So these are the issues that face the real people of America, and not this rich guy right here. But capitalism is the overall line in this. Capitalism. All right, if you got the bread, you don't have to worry about it.
Happening because of Wall Street, because the Catholic lawyers wouldn't divorce people, and they came into money the way how the darker Jews, the black people, are coming into money now. Mm-hmm. And they had to, and they did a great job. They colluded. They, before that, they were very involved with the civil rights movement, which actually the movement was, it moved blacks from being Republican over to becoming Democrats. That was...
All right, now let me stop him there. All right, so he was talking about the Jewish people coming into power in the 80s due to, via being lawyers, and the divorce rate rising amongst our people. Now, the 80s, the divorce rate rising in the 80s, this was around the same time the crack era. This was the crack era. This was literally the crack era. So you had Jewish lawyers getting rich off of us divorcing, destroying our community, because that's where it starts, in the house with the mother and the father. So these Jewish guys getting grub off our community being destroyed, which connects us to the Planned Parenthood. Not only that, he said the Roman Catholic lawyers wouldn't do it, so the Jewish ones did. So the crack epidemic going, we are starting to divorce, and they're using the whole legal system regardless, because we didn't get married under the whole colonies, under the 13 colonies, under the Virginia Company. We're now getting married through them, through their system, through the government system. You got to go through the government to get registered, right? To get your marriage license, to get any license. So by the Jewish people already knowing the system, they already messing us over with outside sources. They already lobbied a whole system. Let's get them in the streets. So when they come to the courthouse, we got them. So they set that up. Now he's comparing them to blacks coming in the money, doing the same thing, literally destroying our own people via selling out our own people. He explains how the Jews were pretty much involved in the civil rights movement. Yes, they were involved in the civil rights movement, helping destroy our people further, lying to us, tricking us out of our rights, tricking us to be registered voters, tricking us to be Democrats, consistently tricking us left and right. These Jewish, I said it now, Iewish people truly, allegedly are the slave masters, y'all. The pale-faced ones, he claiming that we are those people. Why would we not those people? The only thing we doing is taking a self-hate syndrome. We taking a self-hate syndrome we've been taught from them, and we using it amongst ourselves. Those people are not our people, or else they wouldn't have enslaved us. What? That's like self-hate at its finest, Kanye. You saying you still wanna you wanna deal with people who so-called pretty much enslaved you, because you saying it, and you wanna claim these people, bro? Nah, that ain't alpha, bro.
With the movement, that's where the move happened,
But mind you, he said it when they was in the civil rights movement, and then trying to get us to go to from Republican to Democrat, or truly what it was getting us out of the republic into a democracy. Because that's why we was Republicans first when the democracy started, and then they got us from Republicans and over to Democrat. But that's another rabbit hole.
Now everyone's, why are you calling them out specifically? When I said DEFCON 3, I didn't get an opportunity to say what that meant, but it meant I'm going to call out all these things that have been done to me specifically by Jewish people that so happen to be businessmen or businesswomen, but still it was done by Jewish people to me, to the darker Jew, and I was going to go one by one. And the reason I said it like that is just to say, I know you guys are going to call this anti-Semite, and I'm not afraid of that title.
Okay, I'm going to just stop him there. So he's calling out these Iewish people, right? He's calling them out. The ones he was working with, the ones he was selling, that's pretty much selling out our people, because he done sold out. He's saying the pale-faced Ewe enslaved the darker Ewe. Nah, that didn't happen that way. Nah, that's not how it happened. No, Europa was already being ran by the dark-skinned Moors, the Negro Moors. Really, yeah, the Negro Moors. Just say that the black Moors was running Europe in the 13, 14, and 1500s, and still to this day, they're just not the face of it anymore. But if you look up the time period in actual books, you will see dark-skinned faces running those lands. I promise. Do your research. So, this is the Holy Roman Empire. They was running this in Germany. That's the headquarters in Germany. Yeah, the so-called Nazi. Yeah, that area, right? So, because the dark-skinned Hispanos, the dark-skinned Galo or the dark-skinned French, the dark-skinned Italians, the dark-skinned England, the with an A, not an E, they later brung the pale faces. They were the ones truly bringing the pale faces over here, right? And the Indians taught the pale faces. They tell you that in the dang school books. They tell you that the Indians taught the pilgrims, right? The Indians taught the pilgrims. So these so-called pilgrims, during their pilgrimage, were the dang indentured servants sent over here. The conquistadors brought them over here. The conquistadors wasn't pilgrims. They were conquistadors, right? Those were the people who were the so-called dark-skinned Jews, the Sephardic Jews. Those were those people. Christopher Columbus people, or Mary Vespucci's people, right? They was the dark-skinned Sephardic Jews that came over here to take over your black ass.
I'm going to lean into that title. So call me whatever you want, because you call me void already. What's the definition of black? Void of color. Some people, artists may say it's all color, and it could also mean, it's like what they did and when I ran for office and they showed me.
He just admitted that black means void, no color. I keep telling you guys that. Ye said it. So why would you call yourself void? All right? They literally said they blacked him out. He's doing the metaphorical version of black, like right now.
On the TV, and they blacked my face out, and they had me be void. And I think that,
because that's what it means. Black doesn't mean anything. Literally means void. It means nothing. It can mean all the colors. It's really colorless. No color. All the colors or no color. But it's not the color of your skin. His skin, my skin, or Candace Owens' skin.
the Jewish people always will tell you about the trauma and the Holocaust. So one of my favorite lines on the Drink Champs, you actually hit me about this, is when Dove Charney said, hey, I want to take you to the Holocaust Museum. And I said, I want you to go to our Holocaust Museum, Planned Parenthood. Like, we're still in the Holocaust. 6 million Jewish people died in the Holocaust. Over 20 million darker Jews, black people, have been aborted. More babies.
So he's saying that the Iewish people that was in the Holocaust came along and put us in the Holocaust. That's what he's saying, y'all. That's what he's saying. But on top of that, he's saying we those people. What the MF? So when he tell you that, you supposed to get mad, but then he tell you that you those people, then you supposed to like them again? Whoa, wait, what? Doesn't make any sense. Fall in love with your slave master? This just sound like some intellectual Willie Lynch shit, bro, for real. Like, wake up. That's why y'all so confused. That's why y'all say bro got a mental ill. That's why y'all say bro crazy. Cause he is. Right?
These are boarded in New York at this point.
He's rich and crazy, so you couldn't follow him. They give the people who ain't got it all with all the money. Trust me.
Born at this point. And my thing about the media, the majority of the media, over 50% of the media, at least probably 80%, but over 50% of the media is run by Jewish executives, and they allow all of this abortion-driven content that more affects the darker Jew, the black people, more than any other race. But then,
if you really hear what he's saying, he's selling self-hate. He's telling you people like you, making you pretty much kill yourself, and and technically we doing it to our own people via the culture, right? Drill music, dope selling, pimping, gangs, right? You know, all that stuff. But he's saying that since these Jewish executives, they do fund all this stuff, they are creating it, they are helping it, but they still are people. Oh no, that is self-hate, my friend. What we really do, the true issue is our people that look like us, the brown or the bronze people who are killing each other, who shooting each other, who aborting their own kids, who not staying in marriages. Those are the people that need to be together and staying together and creating a community, not connecting to a so-called people who are really, what are they doing? Owning the whole business, the industries that got us in the so-called shit show. They behind the lawyers, they got these law firms, right? They got these record companies. They probably got private prisons, right? They probably got their hand in other things we spend our money on or tied to via bad decision making. That's what stereotypical, the so-called black mind, right? The shit Charleston White be talking about, right? So why would he say we these people? Just doesn't make any sense. Sounds like a lot of self-hate mumbo jumbo, if you ask me. Man, I may have to do a part 2 because my notes are that extensive, because I want to get the Prodigy, and I may have to do a part 2 to get the Prodigy, for real. He talks about Kobe Bryant, and he goes a little bit more into Jewish execs. I guess we can get into that because Prodigy is a little bit away, so we might make this a 30-minute video with the rest of the when he talks about these Jewish executives, and Candace Owens is about to bring up a point, so let's get into that.
you ask because you can't even Google, like when you Google Jewish abortion rate, it'll be one piece of information. The next information is like from 4 years ago or something. There's no information about it. And if I attempt, my mom said try and it's failing. If I fail by attempting to have a conversation with a Jewish person about the abortion rate, they won't allow the conversation to be had. That's why I said, hey, I'm Me Tooing.
They won't let the conversation be had. Yes, of course not. Of course not, because it's they're profiting off of it, my guy. They're making such a profit. They're making so much money. Why would they have a conversation with you and stop what they doing, bro? I don't blame them, actually. Now, that's what I don't even blame them. And that's, y'all want to get on, for real, y'all want to get at me at going at Charleston White for nigga shit? I don't even blame these Jewish people for what they doing. I get at me for that one. You know why? Because we allowed it.
The Jewish race that's saying, hey, you guys got to come up and say, did you do this or did you not do this? And I'm calling a lot of times say, people feel like I'm very selfish driven because I'll talk about things I specifically went through. So I said, okay, well, I'm this voice for the actors, the musicians, the athletes specifically, I know, are in situations where at least 4 of the people that they do business with are Jewish, and those people know each other, and the athletes come and go, and that 4, 5, 6, 8 people remain. The athletes come and go like cattle in the stable. The actors
Right, exactly. Like this is slavery.
come and go. The musicians come and go. And that mainstay of that Jewish, just say crew, because it sounds less ramped up than mafia, right?
It is a mafia. It is. It is a mafia. He knows. He just don't want to say the word. It's where the mafia came from. That's where the cartel came from. The biggest gangs. Not like you little street nigga gangs. Not like, no street nigga gang. No, human trafficking. Dope trafficking. I'm talking about across international borders. Not across states, state lines. Nigga, they putting dope on boats and planes. We talking about big dope. We talking about, yeah. That's what he said, the mafia. The Jewish people are doing close to that. Now, are we doing anything close to that? Are we on that level? No, sir. Only thing we doing is selling out. So being a slave master versus a black high-paid slave, he says he's a voice for these so-called high-paid slaves. I guess he is, but this is how I think. He's not really. He is a nigga that sold out. That's it. Rappers come and go, like he said. Yes, the executives stay around. So why ask them for help? They not finna change nothing. You in the contract, right? Why expect them to change? They don't want to lose the money they've been getting. You signed their contracts. You done sold out. You accepted it. Don't get other people to accept their deals just because you sold out. Don't get us to want to sell out our own people, and that's what it is. He want us to sell out our people too. This is going to be a part 2. If y'all made it this far, y'all G's. If y'all made it this far, y'all miraculous, and I love y'all for that. Stick around. I need a co-following too. I need some people that really rocking with me. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hop in that comment section. Man, stay tuned for part 2 of the Candace Owens interviewing Kanye and my breakdowns for it, y'all. DUNDEE. Peace.